Hello everybody, Clay Frederick of the Horror Franchise, back at it with another random video. Just random, just plain random. I thought about covering my top 10 most played games recently, and I actually went down and calculated all the numbers from the past 9 years, because 2017 pretty much kickstarted that whole trend, because 2017 was when I played a lot of games. That was the year I straight up just went under a rock and hid from everyone and became a hermit and a homebody, pretty much to this day. So, in that time I played a lot of games and I invested a lot of hours in them, so I'm going to break it down how many hours I've pretty much covered from my PS4 days all the way to my PS5 days now. And yes, I added myself, and just in case you're all wondering how you kept track of all the numbers, well, I added myself from my PlayStation account into my PS5 account. And you're probably thinking, why not just transfer everything to your PS5? Well, because I didn't know my information, that's why. And I didn't expect to be playing online games, because Friday the 13th, the game was the first, and that was in 2017, late 2017, when I got a hold of that and actually invested myself in it, didn't know my information to transfer to another PlayStation or PS5. So that's why. So I calculated all my numbers, added them together, and the results are on my top 10. So obviously, let's start with number 10. Number 10 is going to be Resident Evil 2 Remake. I'm a little surprised by that because I feel like I've invested more hours than that. But hey, the numbers don't lie. This is what I calculated. Resident Evil 2 Remake is one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of my favorite Resident Evil games of all time. If you haven't seen my Resident Evil top 10 game ranking video, check that out. It's one of my favorites. I really like this game. Despite the flaws I have with it, it's still a true representation of a real Resident Evil game. And that's all there is to it. Number 9 is going to be Predator Hunting Grounds. This one running at 334 hours. So that's a little interesting because I thought I invested more than that again. But it is what it is. I remember when I first played this game, and this game I just randomly pre-ordered the week before it even came out, because at first I had no desire to play it because I was so invested in Friday the 13th and all, and Resident Evil 3 Remake and all this other stuff. And I had some friends that I was playing with that convinced me to get it, and I was like, all right, screw it, I'll get it. And I was happy I got it because I pre-ordered it, got the Jungle Hunter, my Predator, the OG Predator, man. It's the OG. I love the Jungle Hunter. He's a great Predator. There's a lot of cool Predators in this game as well, but Jungle Hunter's my main. He's evened out. He's balanced. He's just the normal one. I invested quite a bit of hours, obviously, and after like 3-4 months of playing it hardcore for a while, they just updated it and nerfed the Predator and all this other crap, and I was just like, all right, they just don't give a shit. They just and Hellphonic made this game, and to this day, it's still being supported. Not as hardcore because they're putting all their efforts into Halloween the game right now. But I do really like this game. It is fun for a little bit, and I do feel like it gets stale after a couple of games. Which, it's funny because even though it's as repetitive as it is, and you can do whatever you want in that world, that sandbox world, I played Friday the 13th, the game 24/7 for years, and it never became stale to me. That's just how much I loved it. But, anyways, I digress. Predator Hunting Grounds, it is a fun game when it is fun. Of course, you got toxic people that ruin everything on purpose. But I digress. Again, moving on. Not moving on. Still got things to say. From time to time, I do play the game still. I bought it when it came back on PS5, the revamped, and they didn't have Arnold's character. I guess there were some licensing issues that I had. And I was like, oh man, this is one of the reasons why I should learn my information, which is now the case for my PS5. I have my information now. I learned my lesson. But hey, you gotta learn the hard way. Alright, let's move on to number 8. Number 8 is going to be Resident Evil 4 Remake. My favorite Resident Evil game. Spoiler to everybody who hasn't seen my Resident Evil game ranking, top 10. 371 hours for now. And I have a right to say this because this game literally just came out 3 years ago. And in that time I've invested a lot of hours. And recently I've been playing a lot of it this past month. I haven't played it recently because I'm playing Resident Evil 5 and a little bit of Dead by Daylight 2 V8. So, but no, I've invested a lot of hours. This game is super addicting. When you get on it, it gets pretty addicting. But I've played it so much, I'm pretty much burnt out with it. But I love it. It literally reminds me of Resident Evil 5 in certain aspects, and we'll get to Resident Evil 5 here after a bit. But no, seriously, this was one of those games that surprised the hell out of me. I knew I was going to really like it. I do like the original, but I don't love it like everybody else does. I have a lot of respect for the original, and I play that one every once in a while. But the remake, for some reason, it just clicked with me. It worked with me. The gameplay is at its all-time best. The cinematics are fantastic. Just the faithfulness to the original, for the most part, is there. And Ashley's way better. Luis is way better. You can make a case for Ada as well. I know some people don't like her voice actors, but I don't care. As long as the character's faithful to their counterpart, that's all that matters. But still, characters are great. Everything's great. This game is just perfect in my eyes. And that's all there is to it. I can't find a single damn thing wrong with it. I know hardcore OG fans will find some things wrong with it, but it ain't going to be much, I can tell you that. That's my opinion. Whatever. No, I love Resident Evil 4 Remake, and I'm not surprised I have that many hours, and plus I've been only playing it for like damn near 3 years now, so there's that. Now we get to the next one that came out in 2023, at number 7, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. Running at 100 hours over Resident Evil 4 Remake, 471. I'm a little surprised by that. But hey, I played the living hell out of this when it came out. This one reminds me of Predator Hunting Grounds. I was playing it for like 3 or 4 months straight. And then their first DLC drop, big one, new killer, new survivor, Danny and Nancy, the killer. This is where the real problems started happening with this game. Broken as fuck. Broken. A broken survivor, tampering with objects and to gather data just to sabotage objectives to where the killers can't interact and stop the objectives from being completed. That's broken. And since then, the game became an unbalanced mess. Sure, they broke out another killer named Hans, who came in and tried to balance it. The rip stall ability where he can stop that from happening. If you guys know what I'm talking about with this game, I know I'm rambling to some people who don't know nothing about this, but I'm just blurting out random shit. But I've invested a lot of hours in this game, and those first few months it was super fun for the most part, but I can already tell within a week it was already a toxic community, a trash-ass community. They totally were not welcoming, and the voice chat, I'm so glad I have it muted, because I already know from experience from Friday the 13th, the game, and it wasn't that bad in Friday the 13th, but Texas Chainsaw's voice chat, the proximity chat, was just awful. They were just awful from my experience. Now, not every single game was like that, but the vast majority of them were, and I just keep it muted. There's no point. There was one match I played. There was this one dude who got butthurt over the dumbest thing, and I did nothing wrong. I literally did nothing wrong. I was just playing the game, and I got accused of something that I did, and I didn't even do anything. I'm just like, you're gonna get a hurt over nothing, dude. Grow up. Anyways, a little fun experience I had. There were a lot of weird bugs that were a thing too, and I have that on my channel. If you go all the way down and watch my Texas Chainsaw videos, you're going to see a lot of videos in there. You're going to see some weird shit that's in there too. Specifically one where I am playing Anna and she's flying through the air, and I'm like, oh my god, I can fly! It was so funny, and I didn't know how to get down. There was a guy who was like, what the hell? I'm like, I don't know what's going on! I don't know how I got up there. I gotta watch that video again. It's been a while since I watched that stuff. But the only way I could get out of that is actually go to the exit area, and it made me exit. I actually thought, oh god, it actually worked. I actually got out. It procced to where I can escape. And I was like, that was a weird experience. But another thing is hackers were rampant as hell too, and they still are to this day. But no, this game, and then of course Gun Interactive ruined it by just completely abandoning it. And recently, Wes Keltner, the head of Gun Interactive, came out and pretty much gave us the exact reason why they abandoned it, because it was about his co-workers and his employees. He wanted to save resources and to make sure that they're financially good. Something like that. I would look it up if I were you, if you want to know the full details. But I've read about it and I was like, okay, yeah, he chose his employees over us. Makes sense. He had a valid reason, but it was still shady as fuck. He should have just came out and said it from the beginning when the game was abandoned. Alright, I'm rambling. Number 6 is going to be Fallout 4. Fallout 4, man. The one that started it all with my hermit life. It was either late March or early April, or was it late April? It was somewhere around the two in 2017 when I just straight up just fell off the face of the earth and was just like, you know what? Screw the world. Screw people. I'm going to do me. Go to work, go home, and if I need to go somewhere, I need to go somewhere, I go somewhere. And that's it. But Fallout 4 was the start of it all. Fallout 4, I played the living shit out of this game. And this was the one that really made me feel what it was like to be super addicted to a game. Of course, I had my priorities. I didn't make it to a point where I didn't want to go to work. Of course, I went to work. But after that, it was just Fallout 4 for a long while. It was so fun. So addicting. There was so much you can do with this one. You can literally make your own character. You can build settlements. You can upgrade your guns however you want. There was so much you could do in it. And it was great. I remember them days. It was so awesome. It was so awesome. I was always wanting to, for a while I was wanting to play a game where I can make my own person and build places and just, I can make a replica house of my own or something that's based off of this one or my mom and dad's or one of my friend's house. Just shit like that. It was awesome. And make up characters that are based off of other characters that I love, specifically Jill Valentine. But it was awesome. And it was super fun. Of course, every once in a while I come back to it and play it, but I don't know, man. Nothing's going to capture those first few months when I played this. 563 hours, man. That's insane. That's insane. That's a lot of hours. But we're not even close to the real hours. I'm telling you. You think this is the highest? It gets way higher here after a bit. We're not there yet, but we're going to get there. We're only at number 6. But now, with that being said, clocking in number 5 is Resident Evil 3 Remake. You all knew that was coming, didn't you? Resident Evil 3 Remake is a divisive one. It's definitely a controversial installment. But I haven't told you what number it is. 580. 580 hours I put into this. I have platinumed this game 3 times. On the PS4, the PS4 version on my PS5, and they had the PS5 upgrade, and I platinumed it again. It's very rare that I do that. Very rare. And the only game I've done that before, where I've done it twice, was Rise of the Tomb Raider. I did it on the PS4, or no, not the PS4. I did it on the Xbox One when it first came out, and then the PS4 version a year later when it came out, because it was only exclusively the Xbox One, and then it came out on PS4 the year after that. So yes, I did it twice then. I have no desire to do it a third time, just so you know. There was a lot to do. But no, Resident Evil 3 Remake's one of my favorites as well, and I know a lot of people hated on it because it's lacking content from the original. Nemesis is not utilized at its full potential and all that stuff. But I'm telling you what, there are things that are better than the original in this one. There are things, of course, the original is superior. I love the original more than this one, but I have a lot of love and respect for this one for doing its own thing. And I know people come up with the dumbest excuses on just to shit on this game. They don't read onto the full story. They claim that it was rushed. They say it was half-assed, half-baked. You can make a case for that. It may feel like that to you. Or another thing is, they just say, oh, the game doesn't have replayability. Yeah, it does. I know for a fact because I've played it a million times. And there's other different modes you can play. And it has different vibes. Different items are rearranged. Enemies are rearranged. It's harder difficulties. And there's a lot of unlockables. Not as much, but there's plenty. Yes, there is replayability and unlockables just to mess around with. And you can speed run the shit out of it if you want. I clocked it in at 53 minutes, my fastest speed run on this. So yes, you're wrong, just so you know. But hey, whatever. Number 4 is going to be Fortnite. Fortnite at 738 hours. In 2020, at the end of 2020, November 2020, I remember. A friend of mine finally convinced me to get this game. And for years I was like, I'm not playing Fortnite. I don't want to ever play that game. I don't care about it. And then finally he convinced me to try it out because he just wanted someone to play with and to teach me the ropes. I got it. And the first thing I see in the store, oh God. If you know the time length of characters that come out, you know. It was when my Black Widow was there in the Tournament Cup. There was a Tournament Cup going on. And she was there, and I wanted my Black Widow. I miss my Black Widow. And I remember being love struck by that skin, and I was like, I want it. I want it. And then it came to the store finally, and I got her. That was the first official skin I bought for this game. And to this day, she is still my main. I've got a lot of skins since then. Trust me. On the PS4 version, oh, I got a lot. PS5 version, I got a few of them as well. But I'm waiting for Grace Ashcroft to show up in March, and I'm waiting for all the other Resident Evil skins to come back so I can get all of them, and I'll be complete for a while. But no, seriously. Fortnite is a fun game. It's got a lot of wild things in it. And I'm glad that Battle Royale Zero build is in there because I hated the build feature. People were just insane with that. And that's what turned me off because there was just like, how do you even shoot these people when they're on top of you a second later? They're in front of you, and then a second later they got a skyscraper in front of you and you can't even do nothing about it. I hate it. But Zero build, I'm always on Zero build. Zero build's my thing. I just go in, gun people down. That's it. That's all there is to it. But no, I had my moments. For a while I was playing the shit out of it. And then I had my moments where I'll play for a while and I'll back off for a while. Like right now, I was playing for a while and I just don't play it as much now. I don't even turn it on. But I'll be turning it back on soon because like I said, Resident Evil skins are coming back soon. And Grace Ashcroft's going to be a skin in it as well. So, number 3, this is where things get real interesting. Alright? Now, I don't have a definitive number for this one, and that is going to be Resident Evil 5. Because this was back in the 360 days. The Xbox 360, man. I can't even begin to tell you how many hours I have on Resident Evil 5. Oh, God. So I just had to make up a wild number for this. Then I played the PS4 on the PS4 remaster. Okay, they remastered it in 2016, and I got it for the PS4, and then I got it, and then I got it again on my PS5, and I calculated those numbers, and I just made up a random number, and I thought, okay, I feel like I played this amount of hours, and I just going to go for 1,000 hours. I'm gonna go with 1,000 hours. I know I played it that around that much. I feel like I have. I know it's not a definitive number, but I'm gonna go off my gut and just say that that's it because I know I have more hours than everything else I've already covered. I know it. I've played Resident Evil 5 that much on the 360, and the numbers on the PS4 and PS5 versions. I know they're not a whole lot, but they're good enough, and I know I played a whole hell of a lot more on the 360. So there's that. One of my favorite games of all time, hands down. So much that you could have done, man. Oh God, that game was the king shit back in 2009 for me. And I got it later down the road, right around after its release date, because it released in March 2009. I got it around, I'd say summertime, maybe fall time. I don't remember. I got it somewhere around that time. It was around my 11th grade year. Right around my 11th grade year when I got it, I believe. Or no. No. It was before that because I went to the beach and got the Resident Evil movies because of Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5 brought me into Resident Evil world. And we were at the beach, I was in a Walmart, we got the 3-pack for the Resident Evil movies with Milla Jovovich. We watched them all, and that's when my love for Milla Jovovich started. I remember that day, god damn, that was insane, man. And I was so hardcore into Resident Evil since then, it was crazy. So it was definitely in the summer. It was around the summer. It had to have been. It was definitely after my 10th grade year. But yeah, this was a fun experience, big time. This game I will cherish to the day I die. I know it's another controversial one in the list of people's favorite Resident Evil games or disliked, and it's a critical entry in the series, and it's a huge chapter that closes too at the end of it. And I don't care. My top 3 Resident Evil characters are in it. And it's a staple in the series, and it's just, for bias reasons, I love this fucking game. I love it. I always will. Chris Redfield, he's my boy. Jill Valentine, she's my queen. Wesker is the most badass villain in the series. And Sheva Almar's a badass too. I love her too. She's a great character. But now we get to our top 2. There is a drastic difference here. Are you ready? Okay, because these two ones right here, these next 2 are factual numbers. Dead by Daylight. Are you ready? 4,914. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. That's a lot of hours. It's a lot of time. That's a lot of money. If you all know me by now, if you've been watching my stuff for a while, you know I have a love-hate relationship with this game. It is a fun game. Don't get me wrong. But half the time it's not. There's so much you can do in this game. Cosmetic-wise, there's rift passes, there's unlockables, there's a lot of skins you can buy. There's a lot of characters you can grind to level up. You have prestige levels. You got shards and iridescent shards, orc cells, whatever. Blood points to invest. The grind system is the best I've ever seen in a video game. Hands down. The fact that you got licensed characters in this, it's kind of like the Avengers. You know, you merge all these other characters that team up with other characters you never thought would happen, like Laurie Strode, Jill Valentine, Ash, Rick Grimes, fighting off Michael Myers, Nemesis, Vecna from Stranger Things. You know what I mean? It's insane. You got all these high quality licenses. I guess you could say high quality. And they're just in the same world. That's really awesome. The objective is to do generators and escape. The killer's job is to hook them 3 times until they're dead. Down them and hook them 3 times before they're dead. Or you just more them. Whatever. It is a great game. I love the game, but I hate it because of the community. The community's god-awful. Not everybody. Again, let me backtrack to this, because I've made a couple of videos already covering how much I hate the community. Not everyone in the community is horrible. There's a lot of them that are salty and entitled, and they think they're God. Well, they're not. Let me tell you that, they're not. But no, Dead by Daylight, I've invested so much hours, and I feel like I don't want to go away from it. As much as I hate how things go in the game sometimes, actually most of the time, I feel like I can't walk away. I've already covered in other videos that I did walk away and deleted it. I actually deleted it at one point, and it got a lot of views because you know why? It was a negative video. And I don't do negative videos. I hate negative videos. That doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. We need positivity. We all need positivity. Everyone needs positivity. Let's all just get along and be happy, damn it. Please. Sorry, I got off topic. Off topic? Traffic. Traffic, that's an interesting word. But no, seriously. I've invested a lot of hours, and I am running myself down. I'm winding myself down with pretty much everything because of Halloween the game coming out. Now I can tell you right now, I'm going to do whatever I can to top the number 1. But we're going to get there. But no, Dead by Daylight, I got a lot of hours. I've been playing this game for almost 5 years now. It'll be 5 years in May. The end of May. I remember. It was around May 24th when they announced the first Resident Evil chapter. And that was 5 years ago. 2021. Time flies, I'm telling you. But I'm going to wind myself down. I'm going to wind myself down. I'm going to wind myself down from everything else, and I'm building myself up to Halloween the game, and that's going to be my new top dog. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to get up there, depending on how what life throws at me in the future. But Dead by Daylight may have this high number, but it doesn't compare to my number 1. And you knew this was coming, right? I hope you knew what this one was going to be. I've already said it a couple of times. Number 1. Friday the 13th the game. Of course. 500, 400 hours. And that's exact. That's exact. For my other account, I had like over 5,100 hours on my PS4 account. But now on my PS5, when I was playing it for a while, about like over 300, somewhere in there, which maxed out to this. No game is going to touch this except maybe Halloween the game, I hope, because that's a lot of numbers. That's a lot of numbers. That is like years and years of time of gameplay there. God, this was the most addicting game I've ever played in my life. There were so many memories I have with this game. A lot of it's good, some of it's bad, of course. But I remember October 13th, 2017. I got it physically because it came out in May of 2017 and it was digital, and I wanted to wait for a physical because I'm a physical media guy. I'm a physical media guy, big time. I got it. My God, I'll never forget that first match. I was playing with a couple of friends of mine. We went into a private match, and it was literally when part 4 Jason came out with the Jarvis map. And I love the final chapter movie. That's my favorite one in the franchise. I remember spawning directly in the middle of the map. There was a cabin right behind me. I was playing Jenny. You can automatically play her. She's one of the starting characters. And he spawns right in front of me. And I remember hearing that music. And I was like, oh my god, that's the actual music from the movie. And I died within like 30 seconds. So I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And man, God, the kills that they showed, that first week, man, the kills that me playing Jason. Oh God, I was horrible playing Jason. I was horrible playing as Jason. And as time went on, I quickly grew to be one of the OG Part 7 best. I believe so. I was told I was by one of the high tournament players. Friday the 13th is my goat. It's my favorite game of all time. It's the best gaming experience of my life. It changed the course of gaming for me forever. 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 Period. Halloween the game, there are vibes of Friday the 13th in it, and I'm happy it does have that because, I mean, come on now. If it's Friday the 13th with Michael Myers on Haddonfield, I'm good. I am golden for it. Man, I'm just, God. The spiritual successor to Friday the 13th is a proper term, but still. No, seriously though. I'm ready. I'm ready for that one. And I don't know if I'm going to make it past 5,000 hours, but we'll see where it goes because I'm going to be covering that game a lot. A lot. So, I went ahead and did this anyway. I calculated all the numbers. My total hours that I've invested in all 10 of these games, 14,269. Since 2017 to now. Can you believe that? 9 years. Damn near 9 years of that many hours. That is oh my god, that's a lot of hours. But no, seriously though, that I just felt like doing something for fun here. I was curious. I was curious because I was going through my games and I seen all these hours they had on them. I was like, you know, I should make a top 10 video for this. And here it is. Some of it I'm like a little surprised at the numbers. But Friday the 13th, the game, I was like, holy shit, man, that is a lot. And Dead by Daylight, I've been keeping track of that one a lot for a while. I just knew what the hours for that one was. But no, seriously, there it is, my top 10. That's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want more content like this kind of in the future. I am doing some ranking videos. I'm still doing gaming stuff. I'm just shit like that. I am planning on doing some more kind of Resident Evil type rankings, characters, movies. Definitely movies. That's going to list too. But we're building up to Resident Evil Requiem while we're at it, so that's why. But anyways, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.